Today I want to talk about why menopause support fails when the foundations are missing and how to fix it. Because, sometimes it's like something's just not adding up. I see so many women in this spot. They're doing everything right for menopause. They've cleaned up their diet, they're taking supplements, they're exercising, they've tried hormones or herbs or both. And they're still exhausted. They're still not sleeping. They're still moody. They're still hot. They're still saying, why isn't this working? And a lot of the time, it's not because the approach is wrong. Not at all. It's because there are several foundational pieces that need to be in place for hormones, and especially Chinese herbs, to actually work. For some women, there's one foundational piece missing. For others, it's 3 or 5 or sometimes even more. And when you find the ones that you're missing, that's when hormones, menopause symptoms, and honestly life can all start to shift. And for a lot of women, one of those missing pieces is vitamin D. Either because they're not getting enough or because their body isn't absorbing or using it properly. So why is vitamin D different? Let's start here because this is where most people kind of miss a point. Vitamin D isn't just a vitamin, it's actually also a hormone. And hormones never work in isolation. They're more like dominoes. One goes, they all go. They're either all happy or none of them are happy. So if vitamin D is low, it can influence everything to do with hormones, energy levels, mood, emotional resilience, sleep-wake signaling. So can you sleep at night? Can you wake up and be energized during the day? Immune response, bone health, and how well other hormones communicate. So someone can be doing all the right things and still feel like their body just never got the memo. And this is especially relevant in menopause because your system is already adapting to big hormonal shifts. So vitamin D doesn't cause all the problems, but when it's too low, it can make everything feel harder. So what some women notice when it's low is like some of the things I'll hear all the time is, I'm tired but wired. I'm exhausted but I can't sleep. My mood feels fragile. I'm getting sick more often. I just don't feel like myself. Now, important disclaimer, these symptoms can have many causes, but today in this video, we're talking about could vitamin D be one of those causes? It is. It can be a missing piece for a lot of women, especially if sun exposure is limited. If the sun is low in the sky during the winter where you live, vitamin D doesn't happen even if you're outside all day. You can get low vitamin D if gut absorption is compromised or if menopause has just shifted how your body responds overall. So vitamin D plays a role in sleep-wake hormones, which is why it can affect both nighttime sleep and daytime energy. It influences mood and what researchers actually call social functioning, which is a fancy way of saying how emotionally resilient and steady you feel day to day. So it comes up across the board. And then I want to talk for a minute about labs and why being in the normal range isn't always enough. And this is where things can get interesting because a lot of women are told your vitamin D is normal and you're fine. But normal just means you're not severely deficient. For a lot of women, that's not good enough to feel as good as they want to feel. I generally like to see vitamin D somewhere between about 50 and 80, with 70 to 80 often being a real sweet spot. Now, one more thing that's important and you need to know. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, which means more is not always better. You don't just pee out the extra if you take too much like you would with vitamin C. Too much vitamin D can build up in your system over time. So it's why testing once or twice a year matters, especially if you're taking higher doses. When it comes to dosages, most women can tolerate 1,000 to 5,000 IUs daily without blinking, but some women, especially with any of the challenges we talked about, might need 4 or 5 times that to reach optimal levels. And when levels improve, often women notice a big difference in how they feel from that one thing. So I want to talk just for a minute about why this can matter for Chinese herbs. because this is the part that most menopause conversations completely miss. Chinese herbs don't work like a drug. They don't force the body into some kind of submission. They work with your physiology, which means the terrain they're working in really matters. If absorption is poor, if key nutrients are low, if the nervous system is dysregulated, even the right herbs can underperform. And that's why for me, I don't just throw herbs at symptoms. We put all those small foundational pieces in place at the same time we're getting the right herbs in place, because that's what allows the herbs to actually do what they're designed to do. And vitamin D is one of those quiet, kind of unsexy pieces. It's not flashy or trendy, but if it's missing, that can be it. Like everything else can struggle because of that one thing. It's also why two women can take the same herbs and get completely different results. It's not the herbs, it's the foundation, okay? They both need to be in place. So if you're in menopause and you're thinking, I've tried the things, why isn't this working? It might not be that you've chosen the wrong tools. It might be that the order and the completeness matter. It could just be like 1 or 2 or 5 little pieces missing to get your menopause remedy to work. Now, in my free menopause video, I walk through how I use Chinese herbs for menopause, why they work best when the foundations are addressed alongside them, and how we identify the specific root cause pieces in your body that you need in place in order to respond to herbs or any menopause treatment. So if you want a menopause approach that feels customized, that's not generic, that actually respects how the body works, you can just watch that menopause video right now. It's free. You can use the link below this video. And if the video makes a little light bulb go off in your head, good. That's usually your cue that something important has been missing. So if you have the sense that something is missing for you, it might be vitamin D. If not, go watch that other video that I have, that menopause video, and you're very likely to find out what your missing piece might be or how to get in touch with me if you need help finding it. I'm Dana Lavoie, the founder of Making Menopause Easy. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear from you in the comments on YouTube or send me an email. I'm here if you have questions. I'll see you soon.